The MacArthur Safety and Justice Challenge really has completely shifted how we do business in terms of criminal justice reform in Cook County. I think the timing is really critical because we now have people at the table in leadership roles. So the public defender, Amy Campanelli, reform-minded. We now have a state's attorney, Kim Fox, also reform-minded. We have a chief judge of our circuit court, very reform-minded, a president of our county. So I think traditionally, that hasn't been in sync, right? So the fact that people are even at the table in Cook County talking about this is pretty it's a big deal, right? And the fact that it's syncing up really well with the MacArthur Safety and Justice Challenge so that we are actually in a position to utilize that network and those resources, from the best practice information, financial resources, and just all the guidance that MacArthur provides. We're actually in a position now, probably better than we've ever been in the past, to really receive that and put some things into practice and really implement real reform. So the fact that we're meeting consistently, we're developing relationships with each other, we're understanding each other's perspective, and we've been able to really collaborate and work to develop an implementation plan that's working. Incarcerating people pre-trial simply because they don't have access to a bank account that's filled with a lot of money, right? Particularly if you don't pose a threat to community safety, and there really isn't any information to indicate that you're not going to show up to court. Why is this person in jail? Why are we paying for that? The impact that has on that person, but not only them, but their family. You've disconnected them. If they're in school, now they're disconnected from school. If they had a job, kiss that goodbye, right? They're paying rent. Well, if you are in jail, you're not making money, you can't pay rent, kiss your home goodbye, right? So we were just utilizing our jail in all of the wrong ways. And so now with the help of the MacArthur Safety and Justice Challenge, we've implemented a lot of new reforms that have helped us drastically reduce our jail population. We would say you've been accused of committing a crime. You haven't been convicted of anything yet, which is kind of the point. You should not incarcerate people before they've even been convicted of a crime, simply because they don't have the money. And so with this new general order that went into effect last fall, I believe it went into effect in September of 2017, we have drastically reduced the number of people who are sent to our jail pre-trial, right? Sometimes because they can't afford bail. So overall, our jail population continues to trend down. So we've decreased the entire jail population by over 8% since October. So between October of 2017 and March of 2018, we've reduced it by almost 10%. That's pretty huge. That's huge. So the Chicago Police Department is an active participant in our MacArthur Safety and Justice Challenge collaborative work. So they're at the table to help brainstorm different approaches to how they interact with individuals who they arrest, right? Because they do have discretion in certain instances to decide whether or not we're going to arrest this person and bring them into the system, or are there other options in the community that we can divert this person to? And a critical part of the population this will impact are people who have mental health issues, right? So I've already said that our jail houses probably the largest mental health population in the county. We can equip our police officers with training and tools to recognize when someone might be suffering from a serious mental health issue, and we can help them understand that the jail is probably not the appropriate place for that person. And if there are other options that are available in the community where that police officer can take that individual to get them help, that's just that's just the right thing to do. Our office has been really successful collaborating not only with the county stakeholders as a part of the MacArthur but we've been able to expand that to our own initiatives. And one that we're really proud of is we have opened a new police station representation unit in our office. And this is by order of our chief judge. So again, relationship building, collaboration, everyone can see the bigger picture and realize there are additional things that need to happen. An example of that is our chief judge entered a general order basically saying that if someone is arrested in Cook County and if they're being detained by law enforcement, our office is appointed to represent that person at the police station. Right? So that means that the police have to be willing to give someone the phone to call us to say, hey, I'm in jail, I need a lawyer, right? The judge had to be comfortable with saying, you know what, I recognize there's a need for this at the very front end or the beginning of the system. The public defender's office is willing to step up and take on this role. It's a need that we identified from very early on. Everyone got at the table and agreed this is something we should do, and the county's making it happen. So now we have attorneys in our office who are dedicated to go to police stations to represent individuals who are arrested. It's not happening anywhere else in the country. Not that I'm aware of, where there's a public defender office that has a dedicated unit to representing people at the point of arrest. We have adults get walked out of police stations uncharged. What better way to help reduce the jail population than to have people walked out of the police station uncharged and completely diverting them away from pretrial incarceration? So we're really excited about it.
That's great.
We've seen some initial successes. When you have 3 kids that are arrested and you're scared and they're being accused of doing horrible things that turns out they didn't do, right? And you're able to really walk them out of a police station without even being charged.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, right? That's a big deal. The fact that we have all these leaders of all of these different government agencies at the table, talking together, working together in a collaborative effort, that in and of itself is something that I'm really proud of, because 10 years ago this would not have happened. And to see the initial successes come out of that work, is really reassuring that we can do more, right? There are still people who are in the jail who haven't been able to bond themselves out for whatever reason, right? We need to get to a point where money is never a factor in whether or not someone is able to go home and be with their families and their communities and continue to live their lives or not. Now, we've made a lot of progress, and we've built into our system kind of a safety net, so that if someone is in the jail for 7 days and simply because they haven't been able to pay their bond, there is an opportunity that the court will review that and make another decision, okay, this person's been in jail for 7 days, they haven't been able to pay their bond. Let's rethink kind of what's happening with this person. The fact that that's built into our system, great. But at the end of the day, there are still people who, for whatever reason, are still in the jail. So we really are taking a hard look at that. We're taking a deeper dive. We're looking systemically at the various points in the system now together. We're doing these stress tests where we're looking at individual cases, and we're all sitting at the table together, and we're trying to figure out what happened in this person's case that resulted in them being in the jail longer than they probably should have been. So until we get to the point where there are no individual cases for us to look at for the stress test to say, why is this person still in the jail, and everybody agrees they probably shouldn't be, we're not there yet.
Right.
We're making significant progress. Yeah. So, I really want to make sure that we are in a position where we really are not incarcerating people pre-trial unnecessarily. We as stakeholders communicate with the community at large to help them understand that what we're doing isn't a threat to public safety, right? It's very important that the data kind of backs up what we're doing. And, we in Cook County recently released our data in terms of some of the outcomes that we're seeing from the MacArthur Safety and Justice Challenge to show that
not only have we been successful in reducing the jail population, but we've been able to do so in a very safe way. We have to get better at communicating to the community at large the fact that the people that are being diverted from jail are not committing new crimes, not picking up new arrests. 9 out of 10 of the people that have been diverted from pretrial incarceration in Cook County do not commit new offenses. Over 88% of them that are released return to court. That's huge, right? So we're not saying that dangerous people shouldn't be in the jail. We're not releasing people that we perceive to have some significant threat to public safety from the jail. We're utilizing the tools that we have been equipped with to make informed decisions, to make sure that the people that we are releasing, we feel pretty confident that they don't pose a significant threat to community safety, that they're not going to commit a new offense, and that they will show up to court.